What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo, and I wanted to give you guys an update on Tier 4 Jean Grey and how useful she actually is, and some other PvE content that some of us were speculating on, such as ABL, ABX. How good is she? And how good is she whenever you actually equip one of these other uniforms? Because whenever you slap this uniform on, she becomes a Blast Mutant female. Now, I haven't really got to test this one here, but I have got to test this one here, and you might find that there's actually some surprising results as far as this is concerned. Now, I did have a request to see what Jean could do in ABX using a Mighty CTP of Judgment. Now, I have the Rage on it right now, but I did unequip this thing, and I did put this Mighty CTP of Judgment, sorry, that's the Brilliant, this Mighty CTP of Judgment right here that only has 12% extra attack and a 200% damage proc. I did put that on her to see what she can do, and I can tell you in ABX, she scores about 300,000 points less than a Rage, and in ABL she scores around 800,000 to 1,000,000 points less than a Rage. So the Rage is actually still better than the Mighty Judgment. Maybe if we had a different proc on that Mighty CTP of Judgment, it would be better, but if you're just increasing your all attack, where you don't have to run around, build up the meter, which I think would actually be better for ABX and ABL, I just think that the Rage is actually better for those. Now, the Brilliant that I have, and if you do have a Brilliant, that's probably going to be the Optimal Obelisk. I haven't tested it. I haven't seen how much damage it can actually do, but that is kind of the case that we're sitting at right now. And I can tell you guys, like, against GBR, which I'm going to show you guys right now, just go ahead and pull up a run for you. This is actually with a Mighty CTP of Judgment, right? And we're using Valkyrie. Now, Valkyrie does have an extra, or she has a 6-star artifact on her that does give an increased attack to boss types by 15%, which is a lot, guys. That really helps out on top of those damage to villains that she offers, and then She-Hulk for the damage to super villains. Now, this is the trio setup to where we're going to have 3 separate teams, to where Dormammu really has higher defenses. He's just much tougher to take down. And something that you can find with Jean, and this is really no surprise, guys, is the fact that because she has that insane heal on that 3rd skill, she can tank a lot. She's got that decreased damage received in her kit with the decreased damage received added from Valkyrie in this run, and she can just tank a lot of this. Now, we do have the advantage right now because we are universal, but I don't have my type enhancement up at all. If I did, we would do probably even more damage. But she melts, guys. She does really, really well and melts the living hell out of GBR. Like, she's insane. And remember, this is with the Mighty CTP of Judgment. If I was using the CTP of Rage, we would do even better, because the Rage really does prove to be just better against Dormammu. It's just insane. I mean, the Brilliant, that's another thing. But when you're talking about a Mighty, the Rage is still, it's just going to come out on top. It's just going to do more damage. But this is a Mighty CTP of Judgment damage that you're seeing, the one that I just showed you. And yeah, she's still melting like crazy. Getting that extra chain of damage does help, because she does do a lot of hits. But again, guys, I think the Rage is still going to be the best as far as this is concerned, especially if you have a, reforged Rage, right? Which I don't think you really need for the character, but you might need it for ABL, as we'll talk about in a little bit, because, in ABX, excuse me there, in ABX, she does insanely well. It's very easy to cap out the score with her. She's nuts. But in ABL, you'll find that she doesn't do that well, guys. Her 3rd skill and her 4th skill puts her in a nice long iframe if you delay them long enough, to where she doesn't get hit by Surtur, and her tier 3 actually is in an iframe as well. But you'll find that it's really tough to just get 6 million points with her unless you got a supreme build, you have insane card sets. I have 120% energy attack and 22% pierce, and it's extremely difficult to try to hit that 6 million with her in the Dark Phoenix uniform. It's very, very hard to hit that score. But as you can see against Dormammu, she melts. She does insanely well, guys. I mean, I'm pretty much, there is somewhat of a rotation, but I'm pretty much kind of spamming my skills, in all honesty, because, I mean, really with Jean, you can kind of get away with that. The only thing I try to make sure is just whenever I use the tier 3, use the 4 and 5 prior to it, or the 4, 5, and 3 prior to it, and you'll do a lot more damage if you do that, man, along with that tier 3. That thing is just nuts. But yeah, we're destroying, guys, and like I said, you don't have to worry about her dying. It's awesome, man. That heal, the decreased damage received, she's nuts for this, right? I mean, she's not just a PvP character. Some people think that she's just good for PvP, which is hilarious to me, because she's not. She's insane for this stuff, right? Look at the time clear on this, and look at how long it took us, right? Less than 3 minutes, right? And this is the trio setup, and yet we did, I think, 75% of the damage. Yeah, I mean, we did 75% of the damage Nice that I got that blast book. That's actually really cool. I actually paused it there by accident. But that's awesome, guys. So the next run that I'm going to show you guys is ABL, right? And this is Universal Female. And Jean does do really well. She definitely does well, for sure. Now, I actually changed my rotation because I'm actually trying to be in my iframes. You notice I'm using the third there. I'm trying to be more iframes so Surtur doesn't hit me. And I did find that I did do a little bit more damage by doing that. And, you know, instead of ending on the second skill, I just start off with the second skill and try to end on the 4 or the 3, right? It's or end on the tier 3, right? And Deadpool's actually really awesome because we can do the fracture, which is really, really nice. We don't have to switch our character at all. That's another thing that is nice about a tier 4 character. Now, spoiler alert, guys, I'm not going to hit the 6 million. I know I can, and this is with the Rage, by the way, guys. Man, with the Mighty, it was just terrible. The Mighty Judgment against ABL, the Mighty Judgment was pitiful. I do a million more damage, about a million more damage with the CTP of Rage compared to the Mighty Judgment. And ABL, it seems like it just makes a big difference, at least with Jean for sure, man. That damn thing is just nuts in here, right? And this is something that just I find annoying. It's like, you know, whenever Surtur runs around and gets away from you, you can't go into your skills, and that's really, really annoying with Jean, and really just with Surtur, because she does have a good amount of AoE, and if she is within a certain range, she can go into her skills. It's just Surtur is. I mean, guys, there's so much RNG and ABL. Honestly, it's a real pain sometimes. And then the other thing about her is, you know, you do see the text that shows up, Odin uses Odin's might. You know it's coming, right? But her animations are so crazy and so extravagant that, I mean, you really can't see what the hell is going on. Like, you don't even have the time like Surtur because of his color, right? He kind of blends in with the flame, and sometimes you don't even know when he moves around or runs away, and then you try to go into your skills. It's just really, really annoying. I'm not going to lie to you guys. To play with Jean in ABL. ABX, I love her to death. But in ABL, I got to say, I'm not really feeling it. But she still improved my scores tremendously in here, right? I mean, there's no other Universal Female that's going to put up these numbers. They're not. Well, I mean, maybe Scarlet can, but I know she can on my account. She can't even come close to this kind of stuff, right? She can't even come close. Jean definitely the top dog here for Universal Female in ABL, right? Regardless if she can cap or not, she is the top dog. You know, and yeah, I mean, you know, it's tough, guys. It's really, really tough with her. I really, honestly, after, you know, being able to max out, because with Iron Man, I can max this crap out. I can, well, not max, but I can get over 6 million in this, no problem, with a regular Rage. But with Jean, it's really, really difficult, man. I mean, granted, with Iron Man, I am using some more buffs. I guess that's making the difference. But still, I really would have thought that we would have been able to do more. It seems like our damage kind of falls off in the second phase against Surtur. It's weird. I don't know, man. I don't know. Very, very strange. But as you guys can see, man, you know, we hit, you know, almost 5.9 million. I can hit 6 million if I really want. I played this probably about 30 different times, guys. I played it over and over and over and over. And this is the best score that I got. Maybe I could do better, right? But the thing is, you know, I was kind of hoping that, you know, it'd be a lot easier to hit that 6 million marker. Now, obviously, if I slap on a bunch of Odin's blessings, because right now, Jean has the same build as she had before. I don't have any Odin's blessings or anything like that on her. So if I slap some Odin's blessings on her, if I jacked her up, which I think I might end up doing to make my life a little bit easier, then we could max the score. Now, when it comes to her other uniform, like this one right here, it's pretty interesting because you actually can use this in a nice little stage. Now, a lot of players aren't going to be here because this is going to be against Ultron. But whenever you get to stage 45, you need a superhero mutant, right? You need a superhero mutant for this stage. And with the Rage, guys, with the Rage, this is very, very difficult. I do think it is possible for her to do this with a Rage on my account, but it is godly difficult. And the only other option you have here to be able to do this is Storm. And if she isn't tier 4, you're going to have a hell of a time trying to keep her alive, right? It's just super, super tough, right? Whereas with Jean, it's much, I mean, honestly, she's much easier to keep alive. In fact, if I jump in here right now, right? All right, we're going to do that again because this bullcrap emulator bug that I have, sometimes the game will just freeze. So yeah, kind of wacky. But I just want to show you guys and give you an idea of how strong she is, you know, with a Rage in this stage, right? Using this uniform. I couldn't go in my 4 skill, which is kind of annoying. There we go. Right? Okay. Now I want to get my 5th skill off here. There we go. And her tier 3 does do some pretty good damage. And it's kind of annoying that I can't go into my other skills. And there we had a revive. And that's something that is nice about Jean, is that you do have that revive. That's actually pretty damn sweet. Here I use the tier 4, try to give a little accumulation. Okay. There we go, hit that tier 3. And yeah, I mean, it's just, the damage really just isn't good enough. I mean, I tried this, guys. I did a full run, and I found that she did really, really well. Well, she did decent. Like, I got down to like 5 bars at the end of this, right? And then we froze and died, right? No big deal. We're going to go ahead and get out of here, guys. I'll probably end up showing you guys run against Ultron, but with that rage, it's just super, super difficult. The damage just isn't good enough. We need a little bit more. I mean, on a more developed account, if you got more energy attack than 120%, if you have 25% pierce instead of 22%, you could definitely do that with a rage. There's no doubt. I got down within 5 bars when I tried that before. So if I'm getting that close, pretty sure, you know, another player with a better built Jean could absolutely do it for sure, especially with a more developed account. But I mean, again, that's having a pretty developed account. So the uniform is still useful. You still can use it once you develop your account. And I think really with the Mighty Judgment, it probably would have done better, in all honesty, against Ultron than maybe using the Rage. It just seems how it works. Like the Judgments just seem to do better against World Boss content, whereas the Rage does better against Dormammu, ABL, ABX, and so on. And then the Brilliant's just the Kingdom Come of all of them. But I might end up slapping that Brilliant on her, guys, and seeing if we can queue it up, seeing if we can do it, and actually try to do that run on my phone, because playing on my emulator really, really sucks. But I wanted to give you guys some insight on Jean and show just how strong she actually is, whether it's in this uniform or whether it's in the Dark Phoenix uniform. So she's still really useful, guys. I mean, you're not just going to be building her for PvE. You can still use her. You're not just building her for PvP. You can still use her in PvE content. You can still use her in ABL, obviously ABX. She's still going to be the best in ABL, guys. I would say, though, more than likely, judging from the damage of this thing, that this uniform here is probably going to be kind of crappy on Blast Female Mutant. I mean, that might be a little rough. I think it's Blast Female Mutant, right? In ABL? I can't remember, man. There's so many of them. Let's take a look here real quick. Yeah, Blast Superhero Mutant. I mean, you can use her in that too, but her damage is going to be pretty lackluster, but I'll definitely be trying that out and seeing how well she can do. It probably might even have the Brilliant on her by then. So, I mean, she still has quite a bit of usefulness, even in these other uniforms. It's not as great as what I would like it to be. I definitely would hope for a little bit more than what we're getting, but it's all good, man. She's still a godly character, so godly in PvP. So, guys, let me know what you think about Jean Grey, and I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. G7 time. The link is in the description below, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See you, everybody.